Hey friends, I'm back again, and I decided to go ahead and just do my best to respond to Big Star's second thread, which is 5 records from one letter of the alphabet. I've been struggling with this, folks, and what I'm going to show you still don't do it. Um, I just can't represent myself in 5 records. But here's what I'm showing, and why I'm showing it. So I chose the letter D. A number of reasons. I was going to choose letter S. I'm really partial to the letter S. Not exactly sure why, the sound of it or something, but D for Dereck, D for a lot of things, D, and we'll start off with fairly predictable D, Miles Davis, the larger-than-life Mr. Miles Davis. I chose On the Corner because this is more representative of me in the Miles. I mean, I love Miles all the way back to the bebop days, but when he went electric and avant-garde with Bitches Brew On, that's the stuff that's shaped and influenced me the most, much more than the bebop actually. And this album, although it's just one riff over and over and over again, it's just awesome. This record is just killer. It's the blueprint for. Yeah, it's just me talking, but I think of it as a blueprint for funky jams that are modal and almost an Eastern. There are tablas in there, but there's this Eastern thing where it just starts one way and it's like you don't know where you end up. And it's just doing the same thing over and over again, but where they take it is awesome. Okay, let's keep going here. I picked D because it also includes something very personal and also one of my favorite records from my adolescence, and that is the Elm Dreams. This is the album that features Billy Cobham on drums, the Dereck Brothers. I have to look, it's been so fucking long. Doug Lubon, who was in Clear Light, Barry Rogers, Ed Vernon, and Jeff Kent. I can't remember where he comes from, but this is one of my favorite records of all time. It's got a couple of my favorite songs of all time. The Marianne, which it doesn't do what it used to do for me when I was a kid. It's still one of my favorite songs, and every now and then when I'm in the right mood, it does what it did. But overall, this album is funky, jazzy, experimental, R&B. It's all of that. You know, it's earthy enough, but it's also reaching for the stars. And it's been something that's always been of an interest to me, is not so much getting back to the earth, but going into outer space, or further, farther. Those are two thoughts of mine when it comes to music and art. I'm always interested in what is further, what is farther. And Dreams, like I said, with this pastiche of a Magritte painting, represented earthiness and also far-reachingness at the same time. So that's my second choice for D. I'll go with, I'm going to do this like this. The third choice is trying to represent more than what it is, and I chose the Dolphin Brothers. I chose this record because a number of reasons. The Dolphin Brothers were Steve Jansen and Richard Barbieri, originally from the band Japan. Richard Barbieri is now in Porcupine Tree. Steve Jansen is the brother of David Sylvian. Their actual born and last name is Bat. Japan started off as a glam knockoff and became something totally unique by the time they did 10 Drum. I have been a big follower of David Sylvian and Japan members' work ever since because it's groundbreaking and it's singular and it's unique. I chose this album because if any of you pick up on it, you'll notice that it does kind of have a dated sound with the production. But if you can get past the dated production and listen to the songs, the arrangements, and the words, this is some wonderful overlooked work that I think when it came out was just maybe a little too sophisticated, maybe, or maybe it just didn't get proper promotion. But I'm using this in the D's to represent, by extension, my great interest and love of Japanese music, because David Sylvian and Japan and these guys made a direct connection to Yellow Magic Orchestra and all those guys. Did a ton of work with those guys. So this is my D album, and I do still love this album. And I would recommend it, I do. Again, I do say the caveat that there are aspects of the way the music is produced and arranged that gives it an 80s sound, but I love this record. Love it. And I recommend it. 2 more for D. The next one that I chose for D is Dereck Column. Back when I was attempting to push my own music a little bit more, I got compared to Dereck Column by quite a few folks in the reviews I would receive, which was quite a compliment because I know that I don't sound like Dereck Column, nor have I taken any direct influence from him. But Vinnie Riley, who is Dereck Column in essence, is a singular, touching, gentle guitarist who is able to come up with some of the most achingly beautiful, emotional melodies on the guitar. This is his first album. I wish I had an original copy with the sandpaper cover. And if anyone has a sandpaper cover, chances are your record was put together by Ian Curtis of Joy Division. But this is another attempt to represent a large aspect of what's important to me in music. Lyricalism, beauty, uniqueness, even a bit of sadness, melancholy. I love it. Dereck Column. And my last D, call it pretentiously self-indulgent if you like, but I'm doing it because this is my only chance. I do want to be remembered. My last D was my band that I was in the 80s that for a minute we had a chance of making it. That was the band Digital Sex. We pressed up this album. I think we originally made 1,000 copies, sold out. I think we pressed another 1,000. Those sold out. It's called Essence, and it's debossed on the cover. You can't see it. There it is. Can you see it? It says Essence there. Very proud of this band. This was my baby. Now, here's the 3 guys in the band: John Tingle, me, and then Steve on the bottom. Now, when we came out, we had a very English new wave sound. People thought we sounded like The Cure or R.E.M. or even Dereck Column. And so everybody thought it was, literally everyone thought it was this guy at the bottom who started the band and was writing all the songs. It was this guy in the middle, me, okay? And when we made the record, when we finally made this record, there was a big fight, actually, about that fact that I wanted to be in the middle. I wanted to claim my territory. This is my band. This is my baby. I want to be in the middle. Am I showing off a little bit? Hell fucking yes! And why not? You know what I'm saying? As a poor black kid from Omaha, Nebraska, where here in Nebraska, if you're black, you're nothing. You know what I'm saying? It meant a lot to me to achieve this. You know what I'm saying? I did it on my own with the help of these guys here, Steve and John. But I started this band. In some ways, we were one of the bands that helped put Omaha on the indie music map. We were one of the first bands in Nebraska to seriously attempt to interact with the independent music scene internationally. I know I wasn't the first, I was one of them, okay? So we don't need to start no arguments. I'm just saying I know I was one of them. I also know that a lot of other Nebraska bands at the time were kind of doing gimmicky things, or what do we got to do to get people's attention? I did none of that. I just focused on the music because I knew it was good. And so I'm representing me. I'm representing my ambition to... I wanted to be a rock star, but I was afraid to admit it because it wasn't cool to be a rock star. I mean, you know what I mean? I always wanted to get it right. You know, I wanted to have integrity, but, you know, the thing that happened with the Beatles, I didn't want to be a black Beatles, but the whole... I was a child, you know, unlike the Kiss thing. That's why Kiss, I was too old for Kiss, you know. So if I had been a kid with Kiss, Kiss would probably be my Beatles. So Beatles and Kiss I'll equate the same, okay? Just to level the playing field for folks who may have resented me saying I don't like Kiss. But as a child, what I saw in the Beatles was so much larger than life that I just wanted it. Not the girls, but the experience, especially the music experience. And so that's why I chose Digital Sex as my final D, number 5, because even though I'm no longer young and desirable, I still consider myself in the game, and if things can still happen for me musically, I'm down for that. Okay, Bigstar1000, there's your answer. And leave comments, folks. I love them.